Alright, y'all, it's time to talk about something kind of random. Like I told you guys a while ago, I've been trying to get more and more into walking, and I've done a really good job. I'm averaging an average amount of steps of 15,000 steps a month now, roughly. It's kind of ludicrous, but that's what happens when you don't have a car anymore. You start walking, and there's something I've noticed about my weight, and I talked about this back in July when I made that video talking about, walking will help you like shred weight or something like that. But basically, what I've noticed is, I'll put it into context for you guys. When I was like living at home during COVID, we were all obviously supposed to stay indoors at the time, and with me doing absolutely nothing, I lost my job at the time. I basically put on, I was hovering around 180, 185, which is, starting to get a little bit up there for me. 180 is okay. 185 is kind of like, I don't know, right? And that was really because I was living the office job life, and I was sitting in the cubicle all day. I was probably getting less than like 3,000 steps a day, to be honest with you, depending on which day it was. I would still go play basketball at the gym that I had close by there after work, but that was only 2 or 3 times a week. The other 2 days, nah, I wasn't doing shit, right? So, anyway, I was after COVID had come around, and I was really sitting indoors for like basically like a year at my parents' house, and I got to 190, and that was, it didn't feel like it was bad. I could kind of feel my stomach, but I never really. I was kind of fortunate. I'm 6 foot or so, and I could kind of feel around, but my height helps you kind of hide that kind of shit, right? But I remember getting to 190 and being like, "Fuck, man, this is the most I've ever been in my life," and I can get it off kind of easily, but this is ridiculous, right? So since then, I've always been at 180, and really since I started spending some time in Argentina, that's where I started walking around like absolutely fucking crazy, because you don't need a car there. Obviously, like everywhere except the United States has much better public transportation. Go figure. They pay higher taxes. Blah blah blah. We don't have to get into that. But because I was walking around so much, it kind of inspired me to try to do what I can over here. And my car was kind of being a fuck up, so it just kind of worked out that like, hey, well, if I'm not gonna have a car, I might as well just start walking everywhere that I can, right? If it's less than 2 miles, I try to walk. Of course, Texas in the summer is fucking brutal during the day. That's you're gonna be sweating a lot if you're gonna do that. If you're outside, even when you're fucking inside, sometimes it's like sweaty as fuck. It's sometimes ridiculous when you come home. You look at the AC and it says it's like 86, and it's just like, what is this shit? So go figure. This is part of being part of living in Texas, right? So anyway, I kind of I didn't make a vow to myself, but since then I've always been very conscious of trying to stay at 180 or below, right? And there's been a few times where I've kind of almost hovered above that, but really since I got back from Argentina the second time, and I've been getting 15,000 steps a day, I've been at 175 and really 170. And the difference in my lifestyle is I'm playing sports when I can, of course. Like in Argentina, I was playing every day. That's a little bit of an exception, right? But over here, it's a little bit harder to find the kind of basketball games that you actually want to play people with. Like you can go find them, but you want to go play with the LA Fitness crowd and that whole jazz. It's kind of funny. LA Fitness is like closing down some of their basketball facilities due to the ghetto nature of the games, and how, nothing can really be arbitrated in those groups, and they sneak people in and shit like that. Just doing typical, what are the kids saying now? YN stuff, that kind of stuff. Anyway, trying to get back to my main point. I've been hovering at 170, really. I touched the 160s for the first time since I was like in fucking college, which was kind of wild, and I'm not trying to be like a fitness model here, but, or like a girl, I hit my 160s. Oh my god, I'm a size 2 in my dress, right? That's not what I'm saying. But the difference that I wanted to share with you guys, and this kind of builds on the video that I did back in July, but it's just walking will be a huge difference if you can, even though it seems like it's low base activity, and I stressed this in that video, it will make a huge difference for your life. If you can even get like 5 or 10,000 steps a day, it'll make a massive difference, and you'll notice it slowly over time, and you'll be consistently at a lower weight, and you'll be like, I feel like I'm barely doing anything. It's like I'm getting there for free, So that's been one of the main things. Anyway, the main point of this video is actually supposed to mean with me walking around as much as I have been recently, right? I've had a lot of time out on the roads of Texas, and when I'm walking by, I see so many drivers pulling just kind of dumb fucking moves, and just like, this of course is the biggest generalization ever. Most people can probably drive like okay, right? But there are a lot of people who do a lot of shit, and most of the time, this is what I will see on when I'm like, walking along. I'll see this, and then some dumb fucking like face, and then someone just looking shamelessly while their hand is on the wheel at their phone while they're driving. And it's just like, what the fuck? And they're obviously being slow. And, other than sitting at these stupid ass red lights in Texas, there's really no reason you should ever be on your phone. And most of you probably aren't on your phone while you drive, but the amount of people that are on their phone while they drive and think that like they can do two things at once and have this 2-ton vehicle or like 2,000-pound vehicle running around, and it can pretty much end someone's life pretty disastrously if you're not careful. And you think you can just be on your phone because what, you can't delay your gratification with like using your smartphone to go check fucking like what, TikTok or like an email or like a text or something from some hot chick? Like someone sent you nudes, congratulations. Still don't look at your phone unless you're sitting at one of these stupid fucking red lights that take like 5 minutes here in Texas. That's just the way it is, right? That's the only time I will give you permission to check your phone, is if you're sitting at one of these friggin' red lights, man. They take like 2 or 3 minutes, and I'm glad that I don't have to drive. That's one thing I don't miss when I haven't driven in a while, is I don't have to fucking worry about that shit, you know? Sitting there and being like, oh my god, is this light ever gonna change, right? You can go fucking start a podcast if you want on just doing it on Texas red lights, you know, it takes so damn long. Anyway, the point of this video is it is ridiculous that people are driving with their phones out as much as they do. And also, you can have a pretty healthy weight if you just get outside and walk for half an hour, 45 minutes, hour walk, right? It doesn't even have to be anything extreme. You don't have to go like this a super speed walking pace. You can just go outside and walk, right? As long as you're not sitting in your desk all day or on your phone all day. That's really one of the main things, and your body will reward you for it, you know? So anyway, this was not supposed to be like a giant moral philosophy thing that I kind of do sometimes on this channel. This was just me basically bitching about like people being on their phones all day. And also, it kind of really started off with me talking about how much my body's rewarded me by me just walking as much as I have, which has been really cool. But it really just comes down to, I can't fucking believe how many people drive while they're on their phone. It's like mind-blowing. And it's like, again, we'll just talk about it like this. It's like looking at a different species sometimes. Like, it is unrelatable. I will never do that. I remember there's been like 1 or 2 times when I was first driving where I kind of didn't. I was like, this is fucking dangerous. I can't do this. I can't focus on 2 things at once and give both of them good attention. Like, I'm just gonna miss something when you're driving, and boom, someone could just end you, right? And when you're on the roads, you really got to be aware at all times, you know. And granted, it is kind of like, you know, cattle prodding. 95% of the time, like, nothing happens, but there are a couple of times in your life where you're gonna be like, whew, I'm glad I got out of the way, or I'm glad I checked the rear view and noticed that something was happening, because damn, it would have been bad if I didn't, you know. So you know, there you go. Anyway, that's my little phone rant of the day. I know I sound like a total fucking boomer sometimes, but it really isn't relatable, and I have no sympathy for people who get into problems because they have their phone out. It's unacceptable. It just sounds like a gay way of saying that, like a gay watered down version of what I really want to say, right? But it's just horrible. So, you know, there's my rant. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you in the next one.